So this is courtesy of my favorite nightclub here in London called Fold. This really cool artist, creative, put together a really cool video. I'll quickly get the caption up here so I can show you, but I'll play the video separately because I uploaded it. This is courtesy of Fold. It says Rebecca Salvadori captured a rare insight into the unseen hours between the music stopped and the beginning of Unfold following voice drone and new watch in their preparation for the event. And of course, as you would know, Fold is one of the rare clubs here in London that we have that has a no pictures and no photos policy, which is definitely added to the allure and to the kind of hype and the love around the place and just the kind of fun that you'd have in there, because people kind of really disconnect, and kind of, embrace and kind of live in the moment, as opposed to other places where people are obsessed with pulling out their phones and recording every little section of what they're doing. And it's also really rare to see the club in the daytime, because you only ever see it late at night, because it usually only opens at 11 and closes super late in the morning, or sometimes if you go to Unfold you might see it in day, but usually it's flipping dark inside, so you don't usually get to see it under the actual lights and see what they're doing preparing it. So it's a pretty insightful video to check out. And also for myself, being somebody that kind of grew up around Canning Town, my parents still live there, and this is somewhere that I went to, I kind of know the area intimately. It's kind of interesting to see this place, because as much as I feel like I connect with it, because obviously I love the club, it also feels like a bit foreign, because it's just like a club that just exists in Canning Town, but doesn't actually feel like it's connected to the area. Maybe because I used to live there and I have a different idea of it. Maybe it's changed, I'm not too sure, but I thought the video itself was really cool. It's only 1 minute long, but it's a really cool video that this girl put together, so I'm going to play it here and hopefully you guys enjoy.
Finish the gig, set everything up, have a couple of hours of sleep, and then come straight back. It was like 38 or 39 edition. Download a load of tunes, bang them on a USB, and then
If it ain't real, fake it. If it ain't yours, take it. If it don't exist, make it. If it ain't wrong, break it.
blow that bit out.
So yeah, pretty cool video. I really liked it. What an amazing little space. And yeah, man, like definitely one of my favorite clubs. And I think personally, because I don't know, it kind of reminded me of all the good parts I loved about Berlin. When I first went there, kind of awoken that little part of me. It kind of made me feel like it was like when I went to Greece Müller for the first time and saw how expertly that kind of really small space kind of felt expansive. It felt intimate. It felt loud. It felt amazing. And obviously with the sound system in Fold being one of the better ones, I feel like in London also, that kind of helped with it. Some people do criticize it for being a little bit rattly. No, sorry, or being a little bit bassy. I've heard that kind of complaint be said, but I think all in all, considering what we have in London and considering the kind of how short we are on options, I definitely think it's one of the better ones out there. But one thing that I kind of also have been thinking about Fold a lot, and just my kind of, what I want to do in the future, is that oddly enough, I think it's also been really inspiring to see it, because I don't think these guys are like, native to East London or to Canning in any way, shape or form. They just set up a club, and now it's become like basically the mecca of like dance music in London for the most part. A lot of communities and scenes are kind of built up around it, especially from Unfold. The queer community have definitely kind of resonated or kind of been drawn to it as a sort of safe haven and a space that they can go to, especially if it's not a tech house night, that they can go to feel safe and comfortable at. But I also feel like it's sort of like an other thing. It's not like connected to the area, it just happens to be there. And I would love in my future to be in a place where I'm able to open a club myself and have it somehow be tied and fitted around the area it's in. I feel like that's what maybe this only maybe missing in Fold. It doesn't really feel local. It kind of just feels like it's been set up by other people. And I think that's still cool, because I think the unfortunate nature of London is that because it's such a metropolitan city and because it's so busy and frantic and whatnot, and because the opportunities are so rife, and it's basically like my dad used to always say, it's a city where basically the streets are paved in gold. If you know where to look, you can basically find an opportunity for yourself in every corner. But I do think there is a different level of hunger that people have who are not from London, who are not from the area that they're basically building what they're building from, that they come in and they attack it a different way. So it's no surprise that when Fold started, they turned up the flipping, they put their foot on the pedal immediately, right? It went from 0 to 100 really quickly. They didn't rest. They were putting on nights every single time. They were trying things out, and then they finally kind of landed on this sort of model they got with these Unfold things. It sort of worked really, really well, but they went really, really hard. And I think no other person, again, myself included, my parents' house is literally 10 minutes walks away from Fold, and I grew up in that area. I used to run around there. I used to go and pick up my parcels from the local DHL when it used to be around the corner from Fold. Now it's all changed, whatever it may be. So I know that area intimately. But look at my lazy ass. Didn't have no idea to open up a club around the corner from my parents, because that area is all where Fold is. It's a really prime area to have a club, because essentially it's in a sort of an industrial area. Before Fold was open and before the bus station was there, that whole area used to be where the postal sort of like sorting offices would be. I think they had, if I'm not mistaken, a FedEx there. They had a DHL there and something else. So it was like a main place you could be. So if you missed your deliveries, they'd usually send it to that place. And then obviously things change, but still it's a place where there's mostly factories and whatnot. So it's hard. Great place to go to or to set up a club, because obviously there's not a lot of neighbors, so not a lot of people are going to be complaining about the noise. And plus on the other side of Fold is the train, so that maybe kind of mutes a lot of the sound. It kind of takes it all away by the time it gets to the other side of the road where the houses are. So it's a really nice little place to kind of put a club. But somebody like myself, who only lives 10 minutes away, who loves the scene anyway, I didn't have an idea to set it up, but these guys who are not from the area did, and they smashed it. So that's obviously always going to happen. I've seen it happen countless times, especially in the streetwear fashion scene, of people who are not really from London, come in with a different level of hunger, determination, and not waste time, and actually hustle and make something worthwhile for people that they're going to enjoy. So this is something that I definitely want to do going forward for me, because I would love to be in a position where I could essentially build something similar to a Fold in my own way, taking inspiration from all the places I've been to and what I love, and kind of funnel it back into the club. But one thing that I do like about my relationship with the club, I think for the most part, is that it's just been purely about the music. Right, there's been some times I've been like, maybe it'll be nice to play there and stuff, which I think eventually will end up happening. But it's just been a nice, natural. I'm a fan of the place. I like to go there. I have no connection with anybody that's from there. I've said hi to the founders here and there from time to time, but for the most part, I just kind of keep it as a pure punter vibe, and I don't try to, get pally with people and try and connect that way, because I feel sometimes if you do that and it doesn't go well, it can really taint how you look at the place, and especially for me anyway, because I'm emotional in that regard, and I just don't take disrespect well. So if I feel like I'm being disrespected and I just won't support it, it won't be a public thing, which will be silent. I'll just stop going. But then of course that's going to hurt me, because I'll have one less good club to go to. So I like that I approached it just as a customer and a punter. And one thing they do really well is they look after the customer really well. The space is just well designed. There's security around. The locker system is absolutely fantastic, so you to put all your wares and whatnot in a safe locker and be able to just go on a dance floor and be completely crazy. The bar people are awesome. They've got a good space outside to chill. They've got a nice little space indoors to chill. It's really the best designed, I feel like, club in London, personally. How it's laid out, it's done really immaculately well, especially since they moved they had a little chair thing at the back they used to have near to the doors, but they moved that somewhere else, and that really works out well. And I think even now, in the beginning, the bouncers were really jumpy. Like if you stayed in the toilet cubicles too long, they'd be banging on the door and shit. But now I feel like they're a little bit more understanding of who's coming in, what people are getting up to. So I love everything about that, what it kind of, that kind of vibe overall. And even the Unfold thing on Sunday, which I have never been to, oddly enough, even though I went to the fucking first Fold party ever, I think that was like 2018, but I've never actually been to an Unfold, because I associate Sundays with like a rest day and getting ready for the Monday. I don't really want to be raving all the time in that regard. I just kind of leave that to Berlin. But even that's become its own little thing. Which I really, really love. So big up big up what you call it, Fold and those guys for kind of putting it together. I think the video is flipping awesome. Big up the girl that put this together as well. You absolutely smashed it, and it's nice to see Fold in this sort of light when people are prepping and kind of getting it together and just kind of, you know, putting the finishing touches to the place that you're going to be enjoying and going crazy at. And it's also kind of the kind of cold hard reality of running a club. You know, when I'm at home sleeping, scratching my balls, watching a Boiler Room on my laptop in my room, thinking about what I'm going to do to go out, or, you know, people are going and picking up and stuff, whatnot it may be. These guys are carrying around slabs of concrete and putting them on the CD decks. Do you know what I mean? This is a real, like, it's work. Do you know what I mean? It's fun, don't get me wrong, but it's still work. You still have to kind of be like attentive and on it and stuff. So it's not all kind of, it's not as kind of glitzy as I'm probably thinking about it in my head, but for sure what they've done, especially because of how cool it is and how great they've put it together, it's definitely inspiring for me, and I'm definitely got it on my list of things to do going forward, of opening up my own club sometime in the future. That's definitely on my list, especially after what Joe Rogan's been doing also. That's been absolutely amazing to see, man. Joe Rogan have his own club and how that's basically blossomed and blowed up over the place. So yeah, big up Fold for doing what they're doing. I love everything about them, and I can't wait to have my own place that I can call home as well, and kind of create my little own memories with different people also, because that's what you should be doing out here, innit? That's what you should be doing out here.